I really thought this rotary wheel would be the solution to all my problems.
Well, hey there, all you cool Kates and kittens. Welcome back. It's Kate and Kat. And today I am taking those old IKEA bed slats that you most definitely owned from a period in college when you didn't have enough money to buy a real bed, and I'm going to turn it into a beautiful, functional, and dare I say stylish shelf that you can use in your bathroom or really on any wall that you have. So let's go ahead and jump in.
I did some prototyping yesterday, and it seems like this fold is going to be hard to... This is the burrito fold. That was hard to glue. And I think the problem with this is it's going to be hard to make this seam look really good because you're going to be able to see this from the inside. So my other thought is to go with this, which is just two pieces glued together, and I realized this material I thought would be difficult to sew, but it actually sews really easily. So. Puns. Since this is easy to sew, that's what I'm going to do. I might glue it, probably won't, but I'll do 4 strips and sew 2 pairs together. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to take 2 pieces, sew them together, do that twice. So I'll have 2 strips that can go like this. And these are from an old horse halter that was broken, and I thought they were really cool, so I kept them. So I'm kind of, in the end, ending up with a very horse-themed construction with the sewing here. I don't know if you can see, but the edge is kind of a light tan, and it looks weird because you can kind of sometimes see the inner mesh part, that's the backing. So I Sharpied the side black to kind of imitate edge coat, which is what you would actually use on real leather to kind of finish off the raw side edges. So I think that's the plan. Sew 2 strips together, do a little faux edge coat, and then hang it from the wall like this. But I'm going to use a darker tan thread. I've got a couple options. I think this color would be better, but this one's thicker, so I might end up doing this for stability. And the kind of high contrast that this one would provide is pretty true to form for a lot of stitching on bridles and saddles. That might not be a bad thing in the end, but I think this color would be a little bit more muted and probably more my style. So yesterday I made this guide, and it is 1 strip wide. So now I gotta find the best way to trace it and cut it out. Although I did find this guy, which is a rotary cutter, and boy, does that cut some nice straight lines. Not that you need to be straight or nice. I mean, you should be nice, but not too nice, you know? But anyways, back to the task at hand, figuring out how to cut 4 of these out. Seems like maybe I should kind of cut the top and bottom and then do the 4. You know what they say, measure none, cut 20 times. We're gonna DIY fly this. I'm just gonna wing it. Fatal words right there. So I'm just gonna, oh, that definitely moved. Also, that did not cut. Okay, so my straight edge and my cutting tool don't like each other, but we're gonna put some pressure on and try that one more time. Oh yeah. So much for this cuts beautifully. I mean, it's not as bad as it was before. It's pretty bad. It's bad. That's close. So chugging right along, just gonna vaguely eyeball how long it should go. And I'm gonna do it until it's about a little over 4 wide. And I always try to measure a little bit over rather than a little bit under. So if I need to trim down in the end with the way I'm doing it, I'll probably need to because I'm just winging it way too hard. Okay, that was not a terrible cut. Not a good cut, but not terrible. Okay, so theoretically this should be our 4 here. So now I gotta cut it 4 times this way. I tried earlier to kind of like, whoop, danger. Earlier I tried to rough out where it should go, but I don't know how accurate that is anymore. I mean, it's not horrible. Yeah, let's go for it. What could go wrong? Everything could go wrong. I'm sorry, Jill Bean. You gotta go off camera for a sec. And I'm gonna stand up for leverage. Leverage, I think it's called. That didn't cut at all. Oh, this is going horrendously. Oh no. Back with a hard scrap surface to see if that helps at all. Okay, I'm gonna do it a little bit more stabby style. See how that goes. Oh, that is not even in the slightest. Oh, good lord. It's fine, right? It's fine. It's totally fine. And this time, go in with some shears, hopefully for better control. At least when this DIY channel fails because I can't cut straight, I'll have a nice like ASMR channel with these scissors. I'll make it work, Tim Gunn style. It's alright, we added extra so I can cut that off later. We all struggle sometimes, it's okay. And like I always say, in life you don't gotta be straight, but it sure does help in sewing. Wow, that is not even straight at all. Gonna keep going though, with sheer fortitude. Rotary wheel, you really screwed the pooch on this one. I've got this pinned up with some paper clips because I can't actually pin through that. I finished sewing these and then I took them off camera and used the rotary cutter to kind of trim the edges a little bit better. They're still a tiny bit wonky, but whatever. I'll just put the best looking ones forward. And the idea is put them on here, attach them to the bottom of the wood. Okay, now I'm going to put in some finishing nails on the end here to keep it steady. I intended to do so much E6000 gluing in the beginning, and I replaced it with sewing the nails.
With that, I'd completed version 1 of the shelf, which looked really terrible with the white paint. It was far too stark and I hated it. And since this video was filmed long before the whole quarantine thing happened, I decided to go out and see the horses and rejuvenate my soul after my failure. Now back to take 2 of the shelf, where I've decided to stain it a nice chestnut color that looks more rustic. I started by pulling all the nails out of the bed slats because they come pre-stapled to a little strip of fabric, and then I cut the plank down to the right size that I wanted for my shelf. I stained it with a nice chestnut stain, and I decided not to read or follow any of the directions on the can, so I stained incorrectly, but it looked fine, so who cares. Then I took some clear polyurethane and gave a nice top coat once the first 2 coats of stain had dried to make sure the plank was waterproof because I was intending to use it in a bathroom. With that finished, I let it dry and then put the whole thing together.
Okay. This is take 2. I decided that the white was too white and sterile, and then I wanted something a little more aged. Yeah, so I decided I wanted something more rustic than what I had. So I pulled the wood out of the white one, and now I'm going to reuse what I made. It's requiring me to straighten out some of these bad boys. Okay, new idea. Why is this so difficult? Okay, I might have to rethink this. Oh, this is how we do it. So there's a little hole in the middle of this guy for like wires. But if you hold that and then nail it in a tiny bit, straightens it up perfectly. Wow, life hack. Genius. Almost as genius as just doing it right the first time, but nobody's got time for that. Magnifique. I was gonna hold this with my feet. Oh heck yeah, apparently that is the way to start a nail, start attack. It's our plan of attack. Beautiful. Time for the grand reveal. much nicer. It's very rustic.
As you can see from my sly little smile there, I was very pleased with the results. I think the darker color goes much better with all of the amber bottles that I have, and I think overall this is a beautiful new purpose for this bed slat, which otherwise would have been sitting lonely, unused, and unloved. But now it's used every day and I gaze upon it lovingly, and hopefully you too will gaze upon your IKEA bed slat lovingly once you've turned it into a beautiful and rustic shelf. Thanks for watching!